spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Nobody has more kinds of cars or more kinds of people. See them at the sign of the cat. By Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire. And by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you live, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo with this sign, No Kellen Moore, as well as the Funky Chicken. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. We have football on tap. We'll be live streaming both games with the Commanders in prime time. Prime time. Speaking of prime time, we've had the Dallas Cowboys who have begun their coaching search with their first interview being Kellen Moore. No word exactly how that interview went. It ended around 5 o'clock yesterday. It was scheduled for 3 hours. We know Kellen Moore was excited, was the word he said about doing that. He also, too, there is a hope for us Cowboy fans. The Jacksonville Jaguars have interviewed Kellen Moore as well yesterday, finishing around 10 o'clock Eastern. So both of us are both looking at Kellen Moore. And that seems to be the case when it comes to Kellen Moore because he seems to be always the bridesmaid and never the bride when it comes to coaching. Every year, he does multiple coaching interviews for head coach and has yet to get one. We're always told he's a genius. He's a boy wonder. He's, a guy that you got to have, but nobody seems to have them. And in my mind, there's still some questions. I know as a Cowboy fan, seeing some of the things that he did, some of the things seemed like, okay, that's really good. Other times you wondered, why are we always doing all of these comeback routes? Why are we not moving the pocket? Why are we not using more 12 personnel? Things that were working really, really well with the Cowboys. Why weren't we actually running the ball more when we could here? Be that as it may, we'll see if Kellen Moore is the guy. The thing that is interesting to me right now is there seems to be two camps that are forming of former players. Former players trying to get their say in what happens. We've heard Jerry Jones praise Jason Witten. We've had Rex Ryan in a clip I played 5 years ago when Mike McCarthy was hired. Not Mike McCarthy. Well, maybe it was Mike McCarthy. Either Jason Garrett was fired or Mike McCarthy was hired. But he said Jason Witten is going to be the head coach. He said they'll put him in there as a position coach for a couple of years, and it will be the Jason Garrett era all over again. Interesting, he said that 5 years ago. We've had Jerry Jones, who has praised Jason Witten, and some believe that Jason Witten was meant to be part of the mix with Mike McCarthy, and one of the many reasons that Mike McCarthy said El Paso to returning, in which case he is a serious candidate for the Chicago Bears, where they flew him in as opposed to the Zoom call interviews that they did with other people. He spent literally the day with his wife and everything else. It was more like a recruiting trip than a job interview, it seemed. Seems like the Chicago Bears really, really want him. Be that as it may, he's no longer a Dallas Cowboy, so we can stop talking about him. But DeMarcus Ware has now thrown his hat behind Jason Witten. In an interview, I woke up this morning and I saw on Fox Sports where DeMarcus Ware is talking about if Jason Witten joins, that he would be part of the coaching staff as well. And this one is kind of earth shattering because he said Micah Parsons wouldn't be doing podcasts during the season. Oh.
Oh shit! 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 Oh shit!
Yeah. So you have DeMarcus Ware on board now, one of the Cowboys greats that we failed to get, actually both of them, a Super Bowl. Maybe this could be the way that Jerry Jones makes up for it, bringing Jason Witten and DeMarcus Ware and maybe some of the other former players in for coaching the team, and they get coached to a Super Bowl that way. Okay, let's go to the interview. He's got it's about 2.5 minutes on Fox Sports, and let's listen to what DeMarcus Ware has to say.
A 94% chance that Jason Witten becomes head coach, that DeMarcus is very interested in coming over there as well. I would do it the old way, making sure the guys are very.
Okay, so I'm going to say, why is it 94%? How did he come up with 94%? 94%. I mean, people say 99, but 94? I mean, be that as it may. But if Jason Witten becomes the head coach, 94% chance that he would join the coaching staff in some form.
Very disciplined in what they're doing. A lot of the distractions are cut out. Very strict on responsibilities and accountability and integrity to the guys that are in the locker room. That's one thing that I would bring, because those things can't be broken. And no matter how the season goes, the highs and lows of the season, that's always something solid. But, also I would bring in more of a family aspect, because if you know why a guy is out there playing and doing what he's doing, those guys actually are closer, and they play a lot harder for each other because they know what they're playing for. Like, he's like the electricity that the team needs to just wake up, right? Every time he plays well, they win football games. He's a great leader. And I think that if we can get him consistently playing on defense, they will win more football games and take the pressure off Dak Prescott. There's some things that you probably can't say, and questions that
I
will be
wish you
asked
could.
to sort of press you to make press, because you are talking about it. They'll ask you questions about the locker room, things that you don't need to be talking about, but you sort of have to, marry around it a little bit. So for me, having a podcast, doing those types of things, I just won't do them during the season, because in there I'm focused all on football and winning football games and making the championships. But afterwards, we can talk all we want to about whatever sports, whatever that we're doing, because now the pressure is not on me focusing on the team or going into a locker room from something that I said or might have gotten twisted.
Okay.
I can pressure off Dak Prescott.
Listen to
There's
this
some
again.
things that you probably can't say.
Okay, I want to listen to this again because I listened to it before, but it doesn't sound like he said Micah Parsons won't. It sounds like he says I wouldn't. Oops, what? I've lost it now. Oh no. Okay, let me see if I can get it back. There we go. There we go. Okay. We get the ads. Okay, when it comes back to DeMarcus Ware, I think what he said, forgive me because I don't have the whole clip. I was relying on the site. Here we go. Okay, let's back.
Percent chance if Jason Witten becomes
Go
head coach,
I don't think he's
a great leader.
I don't think he
And I
said
think that
he couldn't. He said
if
he
we
would.
can get him consistently playing on defense, they will win more football games and take the pressure off Dak Prescott. There's some things that you probably can't say, and questions that will be asked to sort of press you to make press, because you are talking about it. They'll ask you questions about the locker room, things that you don't need to be talking about, but you sort of have to, marry around it a little bit. So for me, having a podcast, doing those types of things, I just won't do them during the season, because in there I'm focused all on football and winning football games and making the championships. But afterwards, we can talk all we want to about whatever sports, whatever that we're doing, because now the pressure is not on me focusing on the team or going into a locker room from something that I said or might have gotten twisted. I can actually just either talk about sports or I can go and, play a little football and try to win.
And I'm going to tell you that this is funny. This is funny. This is how you get got. So this came across my feed this morning, and the headline on this was Cowboys icon DeMarcus Ware says Micah Parsons won't do podcast during season if he joins coaching staff. That's not what DeMarcus Ware said. He said, I wouldn't. Now, that's not to say that he wouldn't suggest to Micah Parsons that he shouldn't, but he didn't say, if I come to Dallas and coach, Micah Parsons will not do a podcast. Well, I'm just saying, but you're missing the thing here. You're missing how somebody took something out of context and kind of changed it around so it's a clickbait. Because if you see DeMarcus Ware says he won't be doing podcasts during the season if he joins the staff, you're like, oh shit, gauntlet dropped. But if you listen to that in entirety, it's a totally different than what he's saying. He 100% saying, listen, you're going to be focused in on winning football. Okay? We're going to be focused in on you being the best. You see that when Micah Parsons plays well, the defense goes. He's a great leader. Those are things he said. But now it's a question of how can we make it even better? And that's what he's saying in there. So now you've got the DeMarcus Ware 94% chance of joining the Dallas Cowboys if Jason Garrett becomes the head coach, to the Deion camp. We got Troy Aikman saying that Deion would only come if he has a say over player personnel, and saying that it would be a difficult job, but he also said that Deion Sanders is a winner and wins at everything else, and don't bet against him. Now, we've got Marcus Spears. So you see where we are right now. We've got the younger generation there that's looking for Jason Witten. We've got the 90s generation looking for Deion Sanders. Marcus Spears. Let's go to Marcus Spears here and listen to what he had to say.
And let me say this, because there's going to be a million reports come out about Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott didn't get along, and Mike McCarthy didn't accept the contract from the Dallas Cowboys. And it's going to be a lot of things outside of the realm of what actually is happening be talked about. People going to do reporting. They're going to ask questions. They're going to get different stories from different people within the Cowboy organization. They're going to get different stories with people that don't know a damn thing, to be honest with you. But we all going to disseminate that information, and we're going to form our opinion based on how we felt about the situation prior to anyway. So let me tell you how I feel about it. I'm okay with it. And I'm not okay with it from the standpoint of thinking that Mike McCarthy is a bad coach. I'm okay with it because I saw the writing on the wall. First of all, when you want a coach, when you want him to be a part of your organization for an extended amount of time, you negotiate his contract way before the last window is open. Now, I'm sure there was some conversations, probably some preliminary talk. I'm sure Mike McCarthy, agent, probably reached out to Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to try to see what they could get done. Coaches negotiate contracts like players. Only difference is theirs is guaranteed, but that's another subject for another day. Mike McCarthy being out to me symbolizes two things. It says Dallas is in this ever-revolving cycle of coaches, and they just going up the bat and they swinging and they hope they hit. And I was on Monday Night Countdown. This past Monday, we had Troy Aikman, TA, my brother, come on. And I've said this before, and he reiterated, and I reiterated again. I'm not sure if this is a coveted job.
I agree.
Now, hear me out. The cachet of the Dallas Cowboys is coveted.
Of course.
the notoriety and the visibility you get from being a part of the organization
You're right
is coveted. Me and TA talking about football, though. And you know, if you become the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you're not really the coach.
That's it right there.
And that is the most
Preach.
unfortunate part about this situation. You said, Swagger, what are you talking about? They're going to be on the sideline calling plays and getting the players in order and all of that. The coach is going to be in the booth getting pissed off when things are not going how he think they should go based on the decisions that he's making. And that coach name is Jerry Jones. But could we be in for something different?
He's giving
Because I have a suggestion, and I'm not going to act like I'm not going to get on this podcast and act like I started it. But I do believe that Deion Sanders, prime, would be a good candidate for this job. You ask why? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you he got enough cachet to challenge Jerry on some decision making. Prime is already a big figure. He's already as bigger than life. He was a Dallas Cowboy player. He's considered the greatest cornerback to ever play in the National Football League. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. He's done a great job at Jackson State University, HBCU in Mississippi. He's done a phenomenal job at the University of Colorado when everybody waited to see if that would work.
rock bottom.
His son is going to be a first-round draft pick, top quarterback in the draft, most likely either him or Cam Ward out of Miami. His relationship, the loyalty that Travis Hunter showed him. Travis Hunter, the best player in college football. Obviously, he won the Heisman. But before he won the Heisman, he was one of the best players in college football, if not the best. He's built a program at the University of Colorado where you're getting number one players in their position to sign and commit to the University of Colorado. Now, I know everybody's scared. Now, I know people in Colorado and Boulder like, please stop saying this. Please stop saying Deion for head coach at the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, I think it's a stone that needs to be turned.
Wow. Preach it.
And I get it, man. Like, everything is high in Boulder right now. They love Deion Sanders. But this is the way coaching goes. Like, coaches lead for bigger opportunities.
They do.
Better opportunities. They leave because they had a goal in mind prior to signing with those places. This could be one of those situations where we see it. Now, here's why I think Prime would be a good fit from a football standpoint. One, he's already shown he's a program builder. One, he's shown he can build, he can have that respect from players, but also get on their level. He's shown that he can put a staff together. He's brought guys out of retirement to coach. And when you go to a place like the University of Colorado and you build this platform, this big machine of marketing and visibility and winning games beyond what people thought you would, there is a aura that comes with that as a coach, not Deion Sanders. And the hard part to do is to separate prime time from coach, because a lot of people, and I got even myself, I wanted to wait and see if it was about prime time or if it was about football, coaching, and the kids. He's managed to do both, and he's done it beautifully.
There you go.
And I got to give respect where respect is due, because now he about to have two kids off his team, one being his son, probably drafted in the top 5 in the NFL draft. And I don't know the last person from the University of Colorado that got drafted in the first 3 rounds. We could do some research. I don't know. Deion is a very, very, very interesting candidate potentially for head coach. There's another name that's very familiar to the Dallas Cowboy fans, Cowboy Nation, the world of football, Jason Witten. Jason Witten is coaching high school right now, doing a phenomenal job, by the way. Witten came and did Monday Night Football. That didn't work out very well. But everybody you talk to say he can coach.
To get my final destination because I had to deal with
This is
so
deep,
much
guys.
mess in my journey. But I'm happy I'm here. That means all the wind kept knocking you off. We gonna be direct, and I just want to be direct. The conversation between Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders. When I first approached this thing weeks ago, people
deep.
were like, "Oh, you crazy, Michael? What's going on? Oh, Michael, you leave Deion alone. Nobody." Stop. The name of this game I keep telling you people about is about winning and winning championships and a winning program. And every GM, every AD for every school, every GM and pro team, they could look and see what Deion has done and say, I have to consider this. Especially those teams that have been bad for a long time. You know, all of the Vegases, the Jets, and all those guys. I don't know why they're not looking into it. And Jerry seems to be the only one looking into it. But I'm going to tell you something. That'll be a blessing for Deion in a whole lot of ways. Listen, Deion went to Jackson State, right? They were 4-11, I think, the year before he got there. 2019, 2021, they were champs. They were champs. HBCU champs. Not to mention him opening the doors for all of these other athletes that are now coaching, like you just saw Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson do, coaching back into those small colleges, trying to push life and put life in those places. So he opened a path also. So 4-11, a couple of years later, they were the champs. He started Colorado at 1-11. This year, they made it to a bowl game. And let's not even talk about looking at the numbers and the money that he's brought into that university, because that's another whole thing. And that's way off the chart. I mean, we don't even talk about that. And that is what I'm talking about right there. And people talk about Deion and Jerry. How can they coexist? I think perfectly.
There you go, perfectly.
I talked to Deion this morning, and we'll tell you. I talked to him this morning, of course, and I talked to him last night and this morning. And I'm going to say this. I said, man, someone else is reporting now. You guys have already talked, so I'm not violating anything to get all the way into this. He said, no. It's out there now. You know, it's out there. That he and Jerry had a talk. And I said, okay, then. Now, where are we with this? He said, it was just a conversation. There's a conversation about, you know, just some pretty surface things. And I don't know two great men that just have conversations about surface things. I just took it because he's my boy. He said surface things, and then he said to me, I'm going to just say, he said to me, you know, this is all we can go by right now. That's all I can tell you. And I said, okay. And as a reporter, or you call you a journalist, right here, I'm supposed to prod, jump in, and try to get you to answer some tough questions. But this is one of my best friends. And I'm not a journalist. I'm just a football player trying to bring you information using the great game you all love to try to help us get through this thing we call life that we trying to love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with all of that. But I ain't got to pry. You see, a reporter has to pry and ask questions to try to ascertain things from the person he's interviewing to come to you with. I don't have to pry because I know him real well. And when he's that quiet, something's up. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? When he's telling me and he's that quiet, or he's telling me to be that quiet,
something's going on.
I ain't saying that.
I'll leave him right there. But I wanted to get to that because what you're getting now is you're getting the old guard pushing for Deion Sanders. And the things that they point out, one, Deion was going snowmobiling this weekend in Colorado. And when have you ever had a period where Deion ain't talking when he is the subject? And I dare say we ain't heard Jerry and Steven talking either. This could happen. Might not happen. They may just settle for Kellen Moore. But this is a big push. You got Marcus Spears. You got Troy Aikman. you've got Michael Irvin pushing for Deion Sanders to be there. Look, Mike's over here shaking his head. Would you rather have Kellen Moore then?
Would you rather give up multiple number ones for his son?
He's not. No, he recognizes that that's not obtainable. That's not obtainable. Okay.
I don't know how good his second son is because we can get him.
That I don't think that's not what we're talking about. No, they won't do that. If that is the reason, if that is the sole way, then no, it's not going to happen. But knowing Deion has already let teams know there's certain places he does not want his son to go, and they can put a poison pill out there the same way the Mannings did to make sure that Eli didn't go to the Chargers. Okay?
Is that why the Giants won the game?
That could be. But be that as it may, we're just talking about the push right now and the fight for who's going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to get interesting to say the least. And, yeah, we're going to check it out. We're going to keep on following it. I got a good night's rest. I'll be honest with you, man. I know, it's funny because people always talk about Mark Holmes is always making all these damn videos and things. Yeah, well, people are watching them because it's news. It's not that every one of them is the exact same thing. We had so many different things from Kellen Moore interview, coming in and talking about excited about it, to what's going on in Colorado. Is this just Deion trying to get a better situation for him there in Colorado, to now the players pushing for him, the Jason Witten portion of it, Mike McCarthy going to Chicago and seeming to be loved over there. There's just so much to unpack with this whole situation. It's crazy. My head is literally on a swivel, and you got to be ready at a moment's notice. So I appreciate those who enjoy watching, and I will keep doing what I do. And for those who don't and hate, I will do even more because you don't like it and you hate it, because I want to get up under your skin. Hit the like button on your way out, and we'll be back. And shout out to Holly Pierce. Holly Pierce sent me a recipe for some shredded chicken tacos that I'm going to be doing today on Cooking and Tailgating with Joe Boo. So if you want to see some of the stuff that I've been doing, the good news is I haven't really dieted. I've just kind of cut out sugar and cut back on the carbs and stayed away from sodas and eating out a lot, although I did go out to dinner last night. But I have actually dropped 5 pounds without feeling like I'm on a diet. So I'm going to try and continue doing this, eating at home, cooking at home, doing some, fresh, no processed foods, okay? I'm trying to cook everything from scratch. And if you want to join in, definitely check out Cooking and Tailgating with Joe Boo, because that's good. One other program note, too. Shout out to Michael Anthony Fitness, or Michael Anthony Giggy Khan. His old channel that had some incredible content in there with our buddy Rashid. He's reposting some of that stuff, and it almost makes you want to cry, man. But instead of missing him and being sad that he's not here, I'm thankful for the time that we did. And I'm thankful that we're able to go back through and relive it. So definitely check out MAF Giggy Khan, Mike's channel, so you can see good old Rashid back in the day, because he truly was a special person. Alrighty, good people, I appreciate you all, and we will see you here. We'll be starting live stream, I guess, about 4 o'clock for the games, and we'll make it a party with some shredded chicken tacos. Thank you, Holly Pierce.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.